Investment in resilience is a long-term investment. We may not need it tomorrow, we might need it next year, we may need it again the year after. And I think one of the things we can do in the insurance industry is to explain to policymakers, decision makers, what the actual risk could mean in terms of dollars. So we have these skill sets in the industry. We can quantify risk extremely well, and we can do that in a way to explain the importance of resilience. In other words, we can model what the potential loss could be from an event. We can look now at how that might change under climate change scenarios. But we can also model the effectiveness of risk reduction measures, and I think that kind of message is one which resonates well with policymakers, because they deal in dollars and cents much more than they say deal in parts per million of atmospheric carbon concentrations, which is of course the scientific community will be talking about, which is very valid, but it's not necessarily an easy conversation to have outside of the scientific community. There may be some general measures you can take which work everywhere, but in general you've really got to look at the individual circumstances of a given location. And I think one of the things which is not broadly understood is the fact that insurance is a risk mitigation measure. It mitigates the financial consequences of severe weather impacts. So I think what we can do is really, or what we do a better job of, is explaining to cities, to the leadership of cities, how insurance fits into that kind of risk reduction strategy they might be putting together, or which they'll certainly need to be putting together going forward. We can help advise on risk reduction measures. We can help advise on the consequences when that doesn't occur. So we can help quantify the risk. We can also quantify the reduction in risk, which is possible through different measures. So I think all of these things we have to do. We probably have to do more of it going forward, because this is still an area where we're clearly lacking in most regions of the world. Resilience is something which has just got to be improved. We take recent examples in the US. We take Hurricane Sandy, that damaged or destroyed about 300,000 properties in New York State alone. So it shows us that even in the wealthier parts of the world, we have a massive vulnerability to severe weather impacts, and that can't be allowed to continue indefinitely.